Welcome to Sunday service. I am live in one area. We're going to be talking about tax tips, and I need to be live in the next area. Here we go. Dialing it all in. Here at Sunday service, Becky and Joanna are going over real estate, taxes, credit tips, business tips, money management, you name it. This is our service to you. So we want to make sure that we are dialing in your needs. So let's say hi in the chat. Let us know that you're here. We're here every Sunday at 12:30. So you can ask whatever questions you want. Because you've got what is that? How many years, Becky? That's like 40 years between us, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's a lot of knowledge, a lot of students, thousands of people running credit reports, thousands of people I've trained in real estate, and doing taxes for, which I no longer do, by the way, but I do geek out on the tax and legal side. So I was actually just working on my tax book for real estate investors and why real estate is so great for tax purposes. A lot of people come to me about paying or they want to pay zero in taxes, and you can. There's a strategy for it. But real estate is the only one that gives you like multiple benefits, right? And is written in tax code for you to go do. All right. So anyways, I was working on that. So I'm just giving you a little peek on what all of that is about. Cash flow and depreciation and why you want real estate and all the things, right? So we're going to back this up a little bit and head into the credit-worthy world, okay? And there's some things that you may or may not know. And of course, in the tax world too, but that was just a little sneak peek. I have the whole thing coming out. Just type tax in the comments. Let me know that you want the cheat code for real estate investors and why so many bazillionaires, if you will, wealthy people, to be precise, pay less in tax and pay next to zero in taxes. And there's a lot of secrets in there for that. And Becky has a few secrets of her own that she's going to share with us today. And so as we go along, different things that you hear, either ask a question or type in the comments that you want to hear more about that one thing so that we can get you the data that you need. Again, you've got 40 years experience of business, money, real estate, credit, money management. Like there's a lot that we cover. So we're not here to overwhelm you. We're here to give you tips, a little bite-sized piece so that you can take it and run with it. Bite-sized piece, take it and run with it. And then eventually, you'll be teaching all of this because you'll be so experienced in all the things that we know. And that's what we want, because if you can teach it, then, you learn it even better. Right, Becky?
Absolutely. And it looks like Miss Corrine said tax, please. So I can't wait to dive into the tax side of things too.
I'm super excited for my new book. Okay.
Yay.
So, I have a question for you, Becky.
Okay, I have an answer.
Yes, and I know you do because I know you so well. I have a question for you around credit. There is a lot of, I wrote down a couple of myths that people believe about credit. People are confused about it. They don't pay attention. They don't think that they need it. And also, they're just going to have one credit card and nothing else on there because they don't want to abuse the credit system. And then I have others that are like, oh, I got like 20 credit cards. Mm-hmm. My question to you is, can you give me the middle of the road? Like, how does that work? And maybe a couple of tips around that.
Of course I can. Thanks for asking. I was thinking when I first started with credit and I knew nothing, I was super confused. And I just remember I moved into my first house and it was lease with the option to buy. And I was like, this is going to work out perfect. I'm in college. This is lease with the option to buy. I put a little money down. I didn't understand taxes. I didn't understand anything. And I was like, okay, how does this work? And so the first thing that I did is I had already had like 1 or 2 credit cards, and I had 740 credit score. Yay. And so the first thing is, even if your credit's good, it can always be better. And so how do we make it better? Some of the things that I learned was keeping your credit card under 30% of the limit always. And like you said, some people have like 10 credit cards and some people have 1 credit card. So there is a happy medium. The credit bureaus technically like to see no more than 3. Now, to my people that have 10 credit cards, don't go close 7 credit cards, because that actually lowers your scores and hurts your credit. Closing credit means it's no longer creating history. And so you just want to, one, use those credit cards at least once every 6 months, or they're going to close them, because basically if you don't use it, you lose it. And then
So like,
2,
buy a tank of gas or
mhm,
stick of gas.
something that you would buy anyway, right? Like, don't go out. I mean, I'm not giving you permission to go buy new clothes unless you need them. Like, it's purchasing things that you would purchase anyway.
Yeah.
That is one strategy. Some different people have different strategies. Like if they have credit cards that have cashback rewards, well, by all means, put everything on it and pay it off every month, because that's just free money that's given back to you. Some people want just 1 credit card because they don't trust themselves to handle their money properly. And so I've seen
Can we
people.
unpack that just a second? I hate to interrupt you, but let's
Mhm,
talk to the person that thinks that just 1 credit card, that's all I'm going
mhm.
to have. Is that damaging to your credit report?
It's not. It's not. Now, if you have,
Is it beneficial to just have 1, or should you have 3?
I personally believe that you should have 3 as long as you trust yourself enough to use it properly. If you plan to get into real estate investing, you absolutely should have at least 3 credit cards, because the thing is whenever a lender looks at you on paper, they want to know that they can trust that if they give you this money, that you're going to spend it wisely. And so if you have 3 credit cards and you're using them wisely, that means paying them off every month, keeping them under 30% of the limit right before you're going to have your credit pulled because you're going to apply for something. In other words, credit runs 30 days in arrears. Something you do today doesn't show up on your credit report for 30 days. Leave a $20 balance on your credit cards 30 days before you know you're going to make a big purchase like a car or a house, because $20 balance versus even a 0 balance gets you an extra 3 to 5 points. 3 to 5 points could be the difference between getting something and not getting something. It could be the difference between 1% of interest whenever you go to buy a house or a car. This one little tip could save you thousands of dollars in interest. And so that is my main teaching, is make sure you're paying off your credit cards every month so that you're building trust with those credit card companies. You can even go in every 6 months and apply for an increase in your limit as long as you're using those credit cards responsibly. And so that's another thing, is that bigger is not always better. We teach that you should use your personal credit for your personal things. So really, if you're only doing personal things on your personal credit, then you should have like no more than 3 credit cards and some sort of small installment loan, something that you're making a set amount of payments on until you're done. And I'm not talking about one of them signature loans. I'm talking about like a credit builder loan from a bank, or a kind of.
Whoa. Signature loans. Can you elaborate on that? Because I think some people don't really understand what a signature loan is.
Well, those are those little loan shark loans.
What's a loan shark loan? What does it look like? Give us an example.
A really popular one is World Finance, or One Main Financial, something that you're getting a loan and they're charging you a ton of interest, like 30% interest on something. They don't look like that when you first get them. But what I find is a lot of people that get signature loans, one, that doesn't look good to a bank, because they think you look desperate for money. And a lot of times people do get signature loans because they are desperate for money. And so it almost is like a vicious cycle. Once you get one and then it's so expensive to pay it down or pay it off, they always call you every couple of months. They're like, hey, well, you could just renew it. And so then you renew it. And when you renew it, it looks like a new loan on your credit report. And so sometimes when I pull credit reports, I'll see like 10 times that people have renewed it. So it looks like a new loan every time. And that's when a lender looks at your credit and says, oh my gosh, they are not good at managing their money. And here you are on the other side thinking, oh, I'm doing this thing to build credit because that's what that company tells you. And 9 times out of 10, those signature loans don't report to all 3 credit bureaus. So it's like only helping to push one credit score. And whenever you're trying to buy houses, they look at all 3 credit scores and they pick the middle credit score. And so if you have something that's reporting to your credit that's only pushing 1 score, then your middle score is not getting increased. And so kickoff is one that I kind of like these days for signature loans as a big thing. Locally, I have a local bank that I like to steer people to for credit builder loans.
And what kind of bank is that?
Oh, it's
You're
just
not
a
here
regular bank. I'm in Oklahoma, so but the way this credit builder loan works, it's First Fidelity Bank that I like to use in Oklahoma, because they open up a loan in somebody's name for $1,500. They don't give you $1,500 up front. You don't give them $1,500 up front. You make payments against it. Once you make all those payments, it's like putting your money in a savings account, and they re-release that money back to you. They only charge like 9% interest to do that loan, which costs somebody $75 in interest by the time the loan's said and done. And it builds credit for 2 years. And so in essence, it's only costing somebody $35 a year to build 30% of their credit score. Now,
So if somebody wasn't local though, like what would we look for in a bank
kickoff,
to do that?
that's
Kickoff is the name of the program.
it's the name of the company. Yeah, kickoff. And they have some that have like $2,500 limits. I like the ones with the bigger limits. A lot of people like to do self. Self is another one that's online that you can do all over. But self, their lower amounts, what I find, doesn't increase people's credit scores. Just like Chime. I see a lot of people do Chime because they hear all over that that's going to help build your credit. But Chime doesn't have, it looks like a credit card on your credit report, but it doesn't have a limit. And so there's nothing to base off of that 30%. And so I don't see it push people's scores at all. Self can, as long as you're doing something that's $1,500 and up. I see those low $500 ones. And then a lot of times I see people go to Credit Karma. And Credit Karma is like, oh, you could be pre-approved for this, or you could be pre-approved for that. And so then all of a sudden they have 5 credit cards on their credit report, like all of a sudden. And so what that does to the credit card algorithms is it actually keeps your score lower longer until you build some history with all 5 cards at the same time. Let's go back though. Okay, so
Are you guys tracking? Put inside the comments that you're tracking this, because I know this is a lot and I want you guys to understand. And as she's going through this, I don't want to mess up her rhythm here, but type your questions specifically in the comments so that we can circle back and ask you if any of this is confusing. Let us know.
So let's go back. 30% of your credit score comes from having a credit card. The other 30% of your credit score comes from having an installment loan. So what I'm teaching is 2 to 3 credit cards and 1 installment loan. If you already have a car payment that's reporting to all 3 credit bureaus, then you don't then throw out everything that I just said about self or kickoff or none of that, because you don't need it because you have a car payment. And so just to kind of close that gap. So whenever I first bought my first house, what I did is it was lease with the option to buy. I put $1,500 down. That was back in the days when you could just put like this minimum amount down and they give you the option to buy the house. And then I was self-employed. So I filed my 2 years taxes. I was cleaning houses at the time. And then whenever I bought my first house, a mortgage is 40% of your credit score. So credit card, 30%, installment loan, 30%, and then the mortgage is 40% of your credit score. But what happened was whenever I put this big new loan on my credit, it actually dropped my score 40 points.
Mm.
And then the next thing that I did, because I actually pulled cash out of that deal because I wanted to get into real estate investing. So when I closed on that home loan, I actually walked away from the table with money in hand and took that money and invested in my next property. And so anything's possible if you are set up on paper the right way and you file your taxes the right way to make sure that you are showing that you make enough money on paper in order to move forward in this real estate game. And that's exactly what it is a game. And so I can't wait to hear about all of Joanna's tips and tricks on tax stuff, because that is the name of the game, man. If you're a W-2 employee, you're paying taxes, right? On every single check that comes out of, like, every time you get paid, it comes off the top, right? But what if you could take that money that's coming off the top and invest it in a business so that you're not giving it to Uncle Sam, you're giving it to yourself, one, and then two, investing in real estate so that you're protecting your assets. It's money that it's either going to go to you or Uncle Sam. And so you can choose how you want to spend your money.
Yes. And here's a question for everyone that's listening. Are you an entrepreneur or are you a W-2? Type it in the comments. Are you an entrepreneur? 1099 even? Or are you a W-2 employee?
Mm-hmm.
And I ask that because if you want to know, hey, Sherry, thanks for joining us. If you want to know your tax bracket from being a W-2 person to an entrepreneur and how much difference that is that you're paying Uncle Sam, if you want to tell Uncle Sam to go kick rocks, here's how you do it. Okay? Real estate is the number one way. And you probably hear it all over the place. If you've been Google tubing anything about, taxes, real estate, whatever, everyone's like, oh, pay zero taxes. And, but how, right? How does that work? And how does it work for you specifically? Because everyone's different. And so I was speaking with a gentleman. He makes $2.3 million as a W-2 employee. Now, this is, off the charts for a lot of people, but he makes so much money. He was paying over $800,000 in taxes. So this past year, he paid $47,000 in taxes. Can you imagine paying $47,000 in taxes? Yeah, I do. And there is, and people go, oh my God, you pay so much in taxes. Yeah, but it could have been $802,000 if he didn't follow the structure.
Hang on. So you said he makes how much a year?
2 million. I can't remember the exact.
Okay, 2.4, but almost half, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Over 30%, way over 30%. Anyways, keep going.
In the high tax bracket, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And that's literally W-2 is the highest tax bracket there is out there. So everyone thinks they're safe in a job and my taxes are paid because it's automatically done. But you are, the whole first half of your day is going to Uncle Sam. And you barely get the rest of your day because now you got to pay for your house, your car, your kids, your whatever. Like that is gone, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you get that second half back so that you can do something different, invest so that you don't have to be job optional? Like that's the whole mission I'm trying to throw out here, is to be job optional, to retire when you desire. My youngest student retired at 28 years old, job optional, right? Because of real estate and learning the system of taxes, business credit, personal credit, money management, all of those things. It's a process. It is a menu of things to do. It's not just one hit button, done, easy, go. It doesn't work that way. And so that's why I wrote this book, so you guys can see the difference of it's real estate investor tax advantages for real estate investors. I had a real estate investor come to me and say, I spoke to a CPA And I said, tell me all the things about real estate so that I could pay next to zero in taxes. Excuse me. And he just laughed at her and said, what? There's no such thing. And she goes, Dad, got it. I know this because everyone talks about it. And I felt bad for her. And she was actually my inspiration for writing the book, because so many people are misled. And even CPAs don't tell you the things that you should do. Maybe a little here and there. But basically, they're a data entry person, right? They're there to write the story of your past. They're not like, here's how you do your future. We do this strategy over here. No, you need a tax strategist. And that's why my students call me the real estate wealth maven, because even though real estate got me here, I geek out on the tax and legal. So when I tell them things, they're like, oh my God, I didn't know that about, taxes and money and all the things. One of my students, I was able to get her $75,000 almost out of the gate to do her real estate, because if you understand the money and how it works, I could go on and on. But there are four main things that real estate gives you, and taxes is just one of them. You can't get cash flow from gold. It's an asset. You can't get the tax write-offs from gold. So it is an asset, but nothing like compared to what real estate gives you. There's so many, the tax code is written for you, and when you follow it, that's when you pay next to zero in taxes. So the gentleman I was speaking about, because of the structures and things in place, he went from paying 102,000 in taxes down to 47,000 in taxes.
So you found him over $50,000 in money that he could put back in his pocket?
Yeah.
Yay.
Absolutely.
Type that's awesome in the comments, because that is awesome. Finding somebody an extra $50,000 is huge. Like, what could that do for their family and their future, right? Like that's awesome.
So,
I've seen some
comments. It's more than that. So let's do the math here for a second. So I think we're mentioning the wrong number. So $102,000 minus 47,000. So he has $755,000 extra in his pocket.
Oh, well, that's even bigger.
Right? I wanted him like, wait, the math didn't sound right. We're math people, so we got to make sure that we're doing the numbers right. Always have a calculator handy. But he was paying $802,000 to the IRS, and he learned how to tell Uncle Sam how to go kick rocks.
Nice.
At least $755,000 worth. Now he's working on the remaining 47,000 to get rid of that, to go next to zero in taxes. But it's the toughest thing to do if you're a W-2 employee. It is the toughest. And he is one of the toughest because he has the highest tax bracket. He's making so much money as a W-2 employee. He's been sucking that to real estate and different LLCs and just creating this whole path. And that's an extreme example for you guys. Some of you might just need one or two things to offset all of your money coming in so that you pay zero in taxes. And if you need that strategy, let us know, because we're going to walk you through all of that, like where you're at, where you want to be, and like what is the bridge that gets you there. That would be us giving you that strategy. You either want a boat, or you want a speedboat, or you want a row, or you want a speedboat, or you want to swim over there. Like, there's different ways to get there. The easiest way is literally just walk over the bridge, right?
That sounds so simple. I did notice in the comments, we've got somebody that's a 1099, a W-2, an entrepreneur. And then we have Miss Yvonne that's asking, have I ever heard of AVA Credit Builder Card? And I would say no. I have never seen an AVA Credit Builder Card on a credit report. That doesn't mean it's not called something else on a credit report. That must be a newer one. I can totally Google it later. The main thing that you want to make sure of is that they're reporting to all three credit bureaus, no matter what you pick, and that it has a limit on the card so that it's helping build your credit?
Yeah, you can ask them when you get on the phone with them or you're getting that credit, you can say, who do you report to?
Mm-hmm.
And so the game that I was playing was I needed TransUnion to come up because there's a lot of them that don't report to TransUnion. They do Equifax all day long, but not TransUnion. And so I kept calling them, getting Equifax and Experian, but no TransUnion. So I waited till I got a hold of something that reported to TransUnion. I took that card. So sometimes you have to be like, you know, in the
Or
mix.
you can just reach out to me and I'll give you the recipe. Just
There
put
you go.
recipe
See?
in the thing, and I'll get you the recipe to building good credit.
I
It's
was swimming my
simply
guts out trying to figure it
right.
out myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then Becky comes along and goes, "Oh, here,
Just do this, and this, right?
go over the
Like,
bridge, Joanna." It's like
mm,
that. Why are you swimming so hard? I love it. I love it. There's so much that we get to do. And and I learned that early on. We both started out as mortgage people, and what we saw on people's, I did credit repair myself just to get the freaking loan. Like I'm a loan person. Here I am doing what it takes to, you know, get the loan through, which meant some credit repair.
mm.
And I did a lot of things the hard way, a lot of things the hard way. So I'm glad you guys are listening in here today. And if you have any questions, please make sure you're typing them in the comments here. And what I love about what we do so much, real estate, credit, taxes, business, all of the things, is it could change so quickly.
Mm.
We're never bored.
No.
We
And
are
I'm
never
always
bored.
learning something new. Like, for anybody that has maxed out credit cards and they're like, oh, I really want to get into real estate investing. I understand some of it a little bit. Joanna can cut through all the noise and map out a plan in 5 minutes. If you're anybody that's confused about credit and they're like, I don't know what to do, this is my issue, like I can cut through the noise in 5 minutes and map out your credit plan, right?
Mm,
But the thing is I'm always finding new products, new
yeah.
things that people had no idea. Like me, I didn't even know that, because most times people hear of debt consolidation, but
Yeah. I was going to
that
ask you
is
about that one. Yeah.
such a lie, because debt consolidation is what most debt consolidation companies do is they tell you to quit paying all your bills on your credit cards, and they know once you've defaulted on all those credit cards that you can settle them for about half of whatever you owe on them. Okay, but in the meanwhile your credit is trash and there's nothing you can do. There's nobody that's going to lend you money if your credit is trash. And in the meanwhile, what I discovered many years ago, whenever I did debt consolidation, was that it didn't stop me from getting sued for the debts. And those debt consolidation companies cannot protect you. And
I don't
so,
care if they're an attorney. So I heard another person, not to interrupt you, but I
yeah,
needed to interrupt you
yeah.
because sometimes people hear, hey, well, I'm an attorney and I
Mm,
can do this debt consolidation for you and don't worry about, you know, uh,
getting sued.
getting sued or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they can't help it. I
No,
don't care if they
because you
say they're
owe
an
the
attorney.
money. Like, you owe the money. So it's like, at that point, call them up. If you get served papers, call them, make a payment plan. It stops everything.
Yeah.
Whenever you get served papers, it's the scariest thing ever. And you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Well, guess what? Those people just want money.
Yeah.
Just call them, try to make the tiniest payment arrangement that you possibly can, and then try to save back enough money to settle out the debt for half or less, whatever the debt is. If you're in the middle of a mess, that's my advice to you. Okay. Do not pay debt consolidation companies. They charge 25% of whatever they're settling for you. That's a boatload of money. I've seen contracts that people didn't even read. They just signed the papers because they're so stressed out about getting all them phone calls, and they didn't even read it. And they were paying that debt consolidation company $41,000. And I was like, oh, let me show you how to do this. Like, I map out plans for people all day long in that situation. But back to what I was saying If you are in a situation, some of your credit cards are maxed out, you've got a business going already. There is a business lender that I found that has banks that will lend you the money to pay down your credit cards so that your scores go up so that you can do your next step. Like real estate investors, this is a good product. And I'm like, heck yeah, I'm so happy I found this person because now I have a space to send people to for this particular issue.
Yes, absolutely. And so type in the comments if you guys could use some money right about now.
Christmas is coming. Winter is coming, right? Winter is coming.
That's our statement all the time. Winter is coming. We love to prepare for winter. And winter to us means, just so you guys know, it's not just a Game of Thrones thing. But it is, because in the Game of Thrones, they literally talked about winter is coming. They were preparing for years for the White Walkers. I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but I did. I love it. They prepared for years. And that's sort of the same thing in your wealth strategy. You have years to prepare, for the what if. The what if. And, I'll take you back to my story. How I got started in this in the first place was my landlord had a stroke. And she had real estate assets she was able to sell off in order to pay for her long-term care. So that is preparing for winter. Winter's coming, right? Something is going to happen. It's inevitable. We are not frozen in time. That's the only way you can not experience those things. So we all have something that we've experienced that has been devastating to our lives, that either wakes you up or puts you in a hole, one of the two. So we're here to, if you're ready to wake up, we have, all the tools you need to build the wealth strategies like the Rockefellers, how to set up your trusts, why that is so important, what to ask your CPA, what to ask your attorney, because we are not CPAs or financial advisors. We're strategists, right? And we've been doing this for years, so that you know what to ask your CPA and your attorney. So there is that. I was licensed at one point as a tax professional. So that's where a lot of that comes from. Once I read 80,000 pages of tax code, I can't believe I even say that out loud. I geeked out on it, guys. I'm like, what? What? Are you kidding me? How come everybody doesn't know this stuff?
Because nobody wants to read 80,000 pages. So we'll just take your Cliff Notes version that you're creating right now. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. And I'm only covering the real estate side. The small chunk out of the 80,000 pages. And it's quite a few pages. My book is. But it's just around this topic because that's my main jam, if you will. I'm a real estate investor. There's a reason I'm a real estate investor, and I don't give a crap what you think about Trump. I'm super excited because he's a real estate investor. It makes my job a whole lot easier, right? It was really getting difficult with all the things that they were changing that was against businesses, entrepreneurs, and real estate investors. And now that Trump is back, all that comes back in because Trump is a business person, an investor, a real estate investor. And all of those things were important to bring back to make the country thrive because we're built on entrepreneurs, which is why the tax code was written the way that it was for entrepreneurs to flourish. So I hope that and gives you a little bit of an incentive to move the boat forward with tax law, not against it, with it, because that's how you pay next to zero. My book is geared towards a real estate investor for multiple reasons, not just because it's my jam, but it's one of the best tax advantages you can get out of all of the tax law, out of all of 80,000 pages. Let me just pinpoint the best part of the book is real estate investing.
So let's go back to your story.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. how did you help the guy save 700,000? You don't have to give us our nitty gritty, the dirty secrets, because, but in general, like that money went somewhere.
Yeah.
So where did it?
To a small business. To a small business. He now has 7 LLCs. Trafficking that money, if you will.
Sure.
So in tax law, okay, I bent quite a bit on the real estate side of it, but if you read it, the secret sauce is being an entrepreneur and having real estate assets. So what he's done is had multiple businesses to flush that W-2 income through, if you will, and put all his earned income from W-2 and through his businesses into real estate, so that the passive income coming back from that is what he wants to eventually live off of.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets around, oh my goodness, I can't remember the numbers, around a 6-figure check every month from passive real estate now, right?
Mm-hmm.
A passive, no, it comes in, he can do whatever he wants with it. It comes in regardless every single month. 6 figures, $100,000. There's some change in there, but just wrap your head around a solid number. $100,000 a month comes in, no taxes out of it, no nothing. It's his to go play with, do whatever he wants with.
That's awesome. I want that plan.
Right? And so I'll leave you guys with this part of it is it's literally all your earned income. And I go over this in my book. If you guys want it, type tax in the comments. And we make it fun. Tax law can be boring and crazy, and you're like, oh God, just stick a needle in my eye. But we make it fun, okay, to learn. If you could just take away this one thing, all your earned income, go stock it into real estate, whether you're passive or you're, now there's all kinds of ways to, I'm not going to get into it, whether you're passive or you're active in it is the dynamics. But you want it to go into real estate, and then the real estate pays you back. That is the passive income that you want to live off of. Okay, now there's a whole bunch you could do in that real estate sector. That's why you want to talk to me about real estate. But the bottom line is, regardless of that squirrel going in the real estate and how it's fed, you want what's coming back out, right? Is the passive income. Okay, did you guys track that? Let me know if you have any questions. Put it in the comments, because
we want passive income.
You want passive income, period. And from real estate is the number one. You get passive income in a couple of different ways, but primarily it's real estate that you want it from, per tax code. Not just me, because I'm a real estate investor, but per tax code. That's where you get a biggest bang for your buck.
Somebody asked, Miss Yvonne asked if the book is on Audible.
No, I'm not published yet. Thank you.
You mean we get it hot off the presses?
Hot off the press. I'm almost done with it. I didn't think about publishing it, but thank you, Yvonne. Maybe it's something that I should think about. I am just making it easy peasy for people to get to right now. And now my brain's swirling into be published. I am a published author, but not on taxes. It's around real estate and business, being an entrepreneur. But that's okay. Now you lost me, Yvonne.
I know.
My brain's going.
I was swirling too. I'm like, hey, I'm published too. Secrets revealed. I've got a book.
Yes, exactly.
For credit, all things credit. So yeah,
credit.
Mine's on Amazon. Yeah.
There secrets you
go. So if you want to know all the secrets about credit, yeah. Okay. Now back on the subject, right?
We squirreled big time, didn't we? It happens. But yeah, I'm putting the book together, and the more you guys, give me your feedback in the comments, is what I gear things towards. And if you want the book, the ebook, it's going to be an ebook, simple, easy peasy. Going to give it to you, no cost, totally free. But just type tax in the comments so I know to send it to you. Okay. And with that being said, I want to make sure you guys, if you have any other questions, let us know. Any other questions on, oh, we got laughed at for squirreling.
Uh-huh.
That's funny. We like to have fun here. Absolutely. If you have any questions, there is so much, and I don't want to get too much into the tax and legal side of things, but the bottom line is if you have earned income, you are paying way too much in taxes. Let's get you a strategy to talk to your CPA, to talk to your attorney, to set up a business. And some people, even teenagers, right, like should have a business. They should have an LLC. And they should learn how the LLC works and how to live off of the cash flow of that business. That's another thing that's dear
So
to my heart.
let's squirrel again. You guys want to squirrel again?
Yeah. You know,
You're
we
going
love
to like the squirreling. Okay. So if you do not have a business currently and you're like, I don't even know where to start with that. Joanna and I were actually just interviewed for there's a summit that was put out, and it starts, what is it, November 12th, I think, and there's 21 different business owners that were interviewed, all women, and the wonderful person that interviewed us was Miss Christina, and we have put that material out, but I bet that we could put the link in the chat if anybody wants access to that, so that if you're like, I don't even know what business I would want to start with. Or for me, one of the people that was interviewed does Etsy, and I was like, oh, my son loves plants. And you were just saying children, this is where my squirreling came from.
Gotcha.
Children should start their own business. So I'm like, oh, I'm totally going to have Angel watch Etsy so he can figure out how to sell things on Etsy, because he loves plants and arts and crafty things. And so maybe he would get into that. And so it's not just for you. It's also for your children to start teaching them to think like that, so that they don't have to work a W-2 job and live in slave labor their whole life. Like that's like my why I get up every day, is to leave a legacy for my son. Every single thing that I've done since I started investing in real estate when I was 25 years old is so that I could leave a legacy for my son, generational wealth changing activities. And I know that most of what I have done in the past is not going to create that. So even out of the gate, I think I listened to Rich Dad Poor Dad when I was like 19 and understood like that, why real estate investing and how to get into it, and never stop trying to get back into real estate investing. So
Yeah,
there you go.
absolutely. And real estate investing is like going into, well, let's just keep it simple, because I was thinking the world. If you walked into a mall, like one of the largest malls out there, there's all these different stores and things that you can go to and do and be and have and eat and sit and watch, and so many things. This is why we hung out at the mall as kids, right? Those of you that I'm dating myself, but that is how much you could do in real estate, right? There's all these different stores that you could go into and learn to, raise capital, learn to do a wholesale, learn to flip a property. Those are all the things I've done. Wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold, money lending. I'm teaching a raising capital class right now, and it's never ending. I feel like with all the different stores in the mall.
Mm-hmm.
How many combinations can you make with all those different stores? Right.
And that's like, okay, I don't even know where to start with that. And so that's where you get a coach, right? Like that's why, like, we have coaches that coach us through things on purpose. Even though we coach people to do things, I'm still always learning the nitty-gritty details to take all the guesswork out of it for you guys. Like that's why I do that. But I was thinking, whenever you said there's all these stores, because it's talking about all these different businesses that somebody could do, right? But who owns them all? because that's
Yes.
the one that's making the most money, man.
Yes.
So
And
maybe
I was
start
using
it.
it as an analogy of a map, right? Because they have those stands that says you are here.
Oh yeah.
And if you want to go over to that one, you got to go over, that's the way to get there.
Mm-hmm.
That's your coach.
Right.
It gives you the map on how to get to each store to do that
Right.
thing to
Mhm.
owning the whole mall.
Right.
So good, so good. Oh, this is so much fun. I love it. And if you guys have something that you want to, I got more people asking for the tax book. Good, good. I'll get it out to
Mhm.
you guys. I'm almost complete with it. Um, there is so much we can cover here. And if there's something that you have been wanting to learn, wanting to know about, we either probably know it and haven't mentioned it. Again, because you've got 40 years of experience here as entrepreneurs, mindset, business, real estate, all the things real estate, everything from starting to um, gearing up, treating it like a business to scaling to the wealth strategies, right? Like, what does the wealth side look on it? So we take you all through those different steps. And then business credit, personal credit, money management. There's so much that goes into our lives as humans and how do we live our best life is my journey, right? How do I live my best life? I live a life by design. I've been living off of real estate for 25 years. And is it a roller coaster? Sure. It's not all unicorns and rainbows. And you go, oh, that's easy for you, Joanna, because well, no, I started somewhere too and had to go, where do I go in this mall? Shit. I needed someone to guide me.
Where's that map?
Yeah.
Right.
Where's that map? You are here. I was the
Mhm.
same way. So I get it. I totally get it. And so if there's something that you've been wanting to know about in either real estate and any of those topics, taxes and
Your money management map.
money management, yes,
Mhm.
GPS, because we have a whole process. We take people from getting your money shit straight. You guys know I talk about that. I've been talking about it for years. Getting your money shit straight and then building the wealth pieces. Just like the gentleman I talked about ended up with multiple LLCs. And don't panic, I'm not going to make you do that. You're like, I can't afford that, Joanna. He happened to need to do that. He gets 100K in passive, plus he has 2.2 million he makes a year as a W-2. He had the money to do it. Okay, don't panic. We're going to put the right size shoe on you that fits. There
So
you go.
much annually do you think somebody like some people might have some limiting belief that, well, I only make fill in the blank a year.
50,000.
I can't start being a real estate investor. I can barely pay my electric bill every month. How could I get started in that? And I don't want to have tenants or whatever you're telling yourself that's keeping you from doing this step. Why wouldn't you want to build something that is a retirement rich for sure income versus where you're at in the world right now? What are the things that you're saying in your head that are your limiting belief? Because it's a limiting belief. It is keeping you from moving to the next step. What is that? Because whatever that is, I promise you, either one, we've experienced it.
Yeah.
Two, we've problem solved it with other people. Problem solve, problem. So that is all, and that is the main thing that I got out of two books. One, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and two, Rich Dad Poor Dad is problem solving thinking. Because the more you think, how do I fix this? How do I do this? How do I get to the next step? If you'll problem solve instead of stopping yourself whenever something comes up that makes you think, well, I can't do that because, if you're saying that, then
Say, how can I do it? Because
how
I want
can I do it? Change the language in your brain, because what do you say? What do you say about this?
the real estate, the 6 inches between your ears. That's the
Mhm.
real estate you need to invest in first.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Change your
absolutely.
thinking, change your life. And that's
Absolutely.
all we've done. That's it. That's our whole secret sauce is we've studied under people that change the way that you think and to problem solve.
I got this one. We just finished this by Ed Milet, speaking of the
Yeah.
great podcasts and everything. And there was those of you that know me know that I nugget read, right? And so I take a nugget from a book and I apply it to my life because that's how I learn it, right? I can't just read it and go. Most of the time, it just goes out the door, right? But what nugget do you get from a book, and how can you apply it? And one of the things I want to share this part with you inside of his book: thoughts and action act as a pair. The problem is that it's impossible to measure your thoughts or the thoughts of someone else. However, you can control what you do, and what you do is measurable. Measuring your progress by measuring your actions makes you a possibility achiever. Inaction stifles progress and kills personal growth. Become an impossible thinker and a possible achiever. That's Ed Milet there. I just love him because he really made some complex things really easy, because we can get stuck in our heads with all the things very
Mm-hmm.
easy. I mean, I know I could get stuck in the weeds real easy. Um, and if you just measure the pieces that you're doing, like, did I make 5 calls? As far as business is concerned, did I? Maybe let's take it into health. Did I walk 10,000 steps? Did I eat a high protein diet this day, this week, this month, like, you can measure what you did. And the only way you're going to get to the health that you want is by actually measuring the food, right? Like, we can just take it down to that nuance.
So what about the pancakes?
What about the pancakes?
Remember we started out and we were going to talk about pancakes. I remember there
I
was
don't
somebody
remember
in
it.
a plate full of pancakes and
Oh
carbs.
yeah, the pancakes. The
See?
pancakes. Yes, the pancakes. Who
I'm
here likes
bringing it back. I'm bringing it back to the point of this whole, like, us getting together on Sunday service and serving you guys and all the things.
Yes. So there is, so I was watching this gal, and she's kind of sarcastic when she talks about her high protein meals. And she says, how many of you just want to dive into a plate full of pancakes? Right. But you want a carb fix. Give me the carbs. Right. And, but you're like, I'm in a diet. I'm high protein. I can't do that. Well, she had an answer for that. And I kind of feel like we have those kinds of answers for y'all. Is we have a pancake answer, so that you can dive in and eat as many pancakes. Well, not as you want, but a plate full of pancakes, a bowl full of pancakes, because they were nutrient dense, they were low calorie and high protein.
And they
And it
still
tasted
tasted good.
really good because it had pumpkin and pumpkin spice on them and a little dash of maple. So she made something super freaking healthy that, like, you can live off of because it was nutrient dense, versus the old fashioned pancakes way of doing it, which would be a W-2 and spending your money. And right. Once you hop over to the healthy pancakes, you can flourish. You have more energy. You have the nutrients your body needs, and you can eat more because they're nutrient dense and less in calories. So you have more to work with. So yes, you can have all the pancakes if you just do it correctly. You can have all the money if you just do. You can pay less in taxes if you just. We have the pancake mix.
And get your money mess together.
Get your money mess together. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Super. All right, let me see if there's anything else in the comments. Anything else you guys got for us? Let me see. We got the text. Hey, Catherine, how you doing? I could see you now. Yay. And Ashley and Kareen and Zoriana and Sherry. I feel like Miss Marianne from Romper Room. And I see Bobby. And do you guys remember seeing romper room. Am I dating myself again?
Mm.
She would look in the mirror. All right, she'd go, and I see Becky, and I see, and then she would name all the kids that were there and to read to them. Don't know where that thought came from, but probably because I was reading off people's names. But anyways, I want to leave you guys with there is infinite possibilities. Don't get lost in all of the drama. Don't get lost in the mall. I used to let my kid get lost in the mall on purpose. I would watch him. I would see him. Don't worry. But I made him a possibility thinker, right? Like a strategist from being lost in the mall. He had to come find me. Now, I didn't ditch him on purpose. I'm not a mean mother. Don't get me wrong. But if you ever notice how you're walking and your kid just wanders off to wherever, right? I'm like, oh my God, most parents are like, get over here. And I let him wander and realize he was by himself. So I would hide and watch him and see what his reactions were. And it taught him to be resourceful. Like he had to learn that behavior instead of me doing it for him. Like, come over here, stay next to me, right? He had to learn to be resourceful. And I don't know, maybe I was a bad parent, but
No, I love that. I'm like, on one hand, did he have to work through his trauma later? On the other hand, I would be highly entertained being the mom that's watching to see what happened. I used to because my son would try to get emotional at stores, and so when he was really little, I was like, okay, do your best, please.
Yeah.
Fall on the ground and scream and kick and get it all out. And he looked at me. It was like that reverse psychology mom moment. He looked at me and he would never do that because he would be so embarrassed with himself. But anyways, so
yeah.
You know.
So same thing. He
Mhm.
panicked, like, oh, where did my mom go? So it helped him to learn to pay attention. Right. And it's just like, and now I don't have to, go like this, stay with me, because now he's like, oh, where is she? Oh, where is she? Like he's on point of, I don't want to veer off like I did before because that was scary,
Sure.
and they don't forget that.
Mm-mm.
To this day, he's 38 years old. He hasn't forgot that. So maybe it was a little traumatizing, but
Oh, whatever.
that's what therapists are for, right? I gotta give him something to say. He had a good life, guys. He had a good life.
Core wounds to heal.
Yeah, but he's got to have something to tell the therapist. So.
That's funny.
Anyways, I would love to hear Yvonne's laughing. Oh, love it. Okay, so if you guys have a story you want to share with us, I would love to hear it. And anything that you're stuck on, please just let us know. Again, if we don't know, we're super, super resourceful. I hang out with a lot of very resourceful people on my end, and so does Becky. So, and then we get to come together and create magic. It's so amazing. So with that being said, we'll see you guys next Sunday. We'll be inside of the Facebook group. We'll circle back in here. As soon as I'm done with the tax book, I will definitely send you guys a message and let you be the judge. And I would love to get your feedback on it as well. Once I get this complete, we're going to be doing little tiny trainings from it because I don't want to overwhelm people with all the tax stuff. But we'll take a piece of it and we'll do a training. Would that be helpful?
Yeah? Yes.
Okay, good. So with that, I leave you guys out to the wild, and I'll see you inside of the group. Bye. Da-da-da.